Good evening everybody, welcome back to Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld for tonight's second rugby match. This one is between Scotland under-20s against the French under-20s. It's one of the most experienced Scottish under-20s teams of recent years. All of tonight's starting lineup have played already in this year's Six Nations at under-20 level, and 7 of the side have reached double figures in international caps. Rory Howarth of Gala starts at fullback, Rory Hutchinson reverts to outside centre alongside Tom Galbraith, and the speed merchants on the wings are Ben Robbins of Currie and Hawick's Darcy Graham, who wears number 11. Adam Hastings is released by Bath to play standoff, and Hugh Fraser plays his 4th consecutive game at scrum half. There is added power and experience in this Scotland pack tonight, with the return to under-20 colours of the full internationalist Zander Fagerson on the tight head. He wears number 3. He plays with Murray McCallum and Jake Kerr in a very strong front row. The oomph from the engined row come from 2 young giants in Callum Hunter-Hill and the team captain Scott Cummings. The breakaways are Andrew Davidson and Matt Smith. Ali Miller from Melrose is number 8. Pause now for the national anthems.
Dans nos campagnes, mugir ces féroces soldats qui viennent jusque dans nos pas, égorger nos fils et nos compagnes. Aux armes, citoyens, forez vos bataillons, marchons, marchons.
So now, flag of Scotland.
O flag of Scotland, when will we see your lights again? That fought and died for your weeping till and glade that stood against him. Proud Edward's army had sent him homewards to think again. Those days are past now, and in the past they must remain. For we can still rise now and be that nation again that stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent him homeward to think again. Let's go, boys!
So there we are, Flower of Scotland there, sung by the Scottish team. You can see the rain falling here at Broadwood Stadium. Another Gaidrich night, as they say, in these parts. However, to brighten things up, I've got alongside me former Scotland international and Scotland's first centurion of international caps, and that's Chris Patterson. And Chris, the Scots and the French at under-20s level are level at set on 4 points each. The French have a marginally better points difference though.
Yeah, good evening everyone. Delighted to be here and looking forward to another cracking match. We were here, what was it, 6 weeks ago or so for Scotland's opening game against England, and we were served a treat really. Scott Cummins led his team so superbly well. That form's continued. A narrow loss in Wales, a fantastic win against Italy. Whereas the French, well, you always fear the French at this level because they're so powerful, they have so much guile, so much speed. We don't see that at a national level from the French at the moment, but this team are fully tries, as you say, a better points difference in Scotland. But, well, I think Scotland are an experienced side, and we look forward to the match this evening.
There's a couple of names that the Scots might like to watch out for on the French side, Scottish listeners that is. Number 12 is Damien Penaud, whose father Alain Penaud played for France away back in the late 90s. And at number 8 for the French is Alexandre Roumat, who's the son of Olivier Roumat, who played 61 times for the French, 89 to 96. That is Concordier, this big, brawny French breakaway, wearing number 7. Here, however, is Jake Kerr, Boroughmuir, 5th under-20s cap tonight, and there's the Scots line out with some big units in there. Big Callum Hunter-Hill standing, taking it all in. But the biggest man is number 4 for the French, at 6'8", Florian Verhaeghe. Well done, the Scots, you might say, for taking that one. That was Ali Miller, and then the white-shirted Scots driving this maul. Here's Matt Smith now, who's ball in hand, and he's had a try in each of the 3 Scottish games so far. The hit up by Fagerson, number 3 for the Scots, and away it goes by Fraser. That looked like almost a tip tackle there. Referee playing a little bit of advantage. Scots are up amongst them. Dupont, the scrum half, in being chased all over the place, and it's a wet ball tonight, Chris, so a wee bit difficult for some handling in these conditions. Yeah, absolutely. It's actually heavy rain at the moment. It was certainly heavy for the women's fixture beforehand, and you can see that already. The French defence has been pretty impressive. It's a good line out by Scotland. Ali Miller took it well. Matt Smith came off the back of the drive. There's Olivier Roumat, his son Alexander is playing at number 8. I played against him on a few occasions, and well, he's a big man, put it that way. A big angry man, put it that way. But he never laid a hand on you. No, tell the truth. Well, he tried. But yeah, Scotland is pleased with that first set piece. A good line out. But then the way the French defence got organised, came off the line, put the Scots under pressure, and Tom Galbraith was hit pretty hard in the midfield. Front row of McCallum, Kerr and Fagerson for the Scots. It's Castet, the captain, on the loose head on the far side for the French. Fourcade is the hooker. Setiano is the tight head. The French breaking away there and disrupting the Scots. Tremendous burst of pace here. That's Dupont. Great pick-up and bundled into touch, and some scramble defence there by the Scots, and they needed it. All of this done at top speed by the French. Yeah, it just shows you how sharp they are. They've always got clever half-backs, and Dupont there, the scrum half, he was first to react to a powerful scrum by the French, and Dupont puts Ali Miller under pressure. Currie gets his foot to it as well, and then it's a race between Hastings and Dupont. Tom Galbraith gets back and makes it a good challenge on the scrum half. That's early pressure for the French. Just into touch, and Adam Hastings really had to pull out the stoppers there to keep up with Antoine Dupont. However, there's a lovely line out take by Scott Cummings, the Scottish captain. Oh, see how slippy the ball is? Back it goes. But it was knocked on first. Let's see what the referee gives for this decision tonight. Yeah, I think they're saying it was knocked forward by France. So it should be I think it was knocked forward by Matt Smith. His initial movement, the referee, was to award the scrum to Scotland, but I think it was knocked forward by Matt Smith. A long pass early on. Another good line out to start with, but that's the opening 2 lines have been won well, but the ball's been turned over within a phase and allowing the French guys to assert more pressure. The first scrum was good from the French, so this scrum from Scotland, they really have to dig in and defend the line. Dom Foley is tonight's referee, keeping an eye on things. Here's the French with tremendous power in that scrum, held at the back by Roumat. Is he giving a penalty try? It's a penalty try for the French. They've barely played 4 minutes, and that really, well, it's a bit of a challenge to the Scots at this early stage in the game. Yeah, it's a quick penalty try, but you can see the French team are in the ascendancy. They're driving legally, they're driving straight. Roumat just can't control the ball. I think a boot came in from one of the Scots players. That's probably what the penalty try was given for. The try would have been scored. It's a fantastic start by the French. They've changed 2 of their props since the last outing, and they're certainly coming up with a good so far. An early penalty try to the French, similar to the women's game just prior. There's Belleau with a conversion attempt. So, an early change on that scoreboard. There it is, Scotland 0, France 7. You can see the French driving forward straight. Zander Fagerson, this right hand side for Scotland, was turned in towards the French loose head, but that's what it means to the French. They love a scrum. They celebrate a scrum. Quite right, they're celebrating a try, but they do love their scrummage. So that's the gauntlet well and truly thrown down there as Scotland get this game underway here at Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. It's an artificial surface, quite wet here tonight. Pick and drive by the French. Look how muscular and physical they are as they go into the contact there. And a half charge down of Dupont's clearance kick there.
Good pressure by Callum Hunter-Hill. He's getting in, putting pressure on Dupont's clearing kick. It means the French have the throw into the line out, but that's exactly what you want to see in the opening 5 or 6 minutes, is pressure being put on their key decision makers. And Callum Hunter-Hill got up well there. That's Roumat getting ready for the line out for France.
Plenty jumpers on both sides. Up goes number 7 for the French. That was Concourier, but knocked on by the Scots. The Scots have got a big line out as well, because Hunter-Hill is 6'6". He's number 4 for the Scots. Cummings, the captain, is 6'6". Davidson, number 6, is 6'7". So, you know, they've plenty target men in that line.
Yeah, well, Andrew Davidson's played most of his rugby as a second row. He's effective on the blind side, but he certainly brings that added height to the back row, and another great line out option. Jake Kerr has a good throw of the ball, and got another opportunity here. It was deemed to be not straight by France, and I think Scotland opted for the line over the scrum.
Tap back by the French, a wee bit risky in these wet conditions, but they've tidied it up beautifully with Castet, the captain, coming round to clean it. There's Dupont over the top as Davidson threatened, waiting on that touchline. Are the Scots? One interception there of the infield pass. And that was Pinot who was alert to that. Here come the French again, asking lots of questions, and the Scots falling off 1 or 2 tackles, which John Dalziel, the coach, will not be too happy about. Here's Dupont. Castet, the captain, leading by example. There's a turnover for Scotland, and they needed that. This is Buros, full back. Tall, willowy sort of lad. Oh, and almost an interception there by Robbins for Scotland. Well, it's all happening here tonight. We've only played, 7 minutes, and the French lead 7 points to 0, but interceptions, well, almost had another 2 or 3 there.
Yeah, you can see the rain falling as well, and it's great to see the ambition that these youngsters are playing. This is the first one. I think Tom Grace knows where the space is, but it was well read. Was it Howarth? Sorry, it was well read by Pinot, and this is the second one from the French. A big long pass by Ballou, trying to find the space on the outside edge. The longer the pass, the longer the ball's in there, the more time it gives the defender to make a read like that. And Darcy Graham read that. Ben Robbins, read that really well, and just unfortunately couldn't quite get his hands on the ball. It's another scrum. The scrum's not been great so far for Scotland, so this will be an important time to get the scrum right, set it early, get the ball in and away, and try and keep their hands on the ball for a few phases to put the French under pressure.
Murray McCallum at number 1 on this side of the front row for the Scots. Jake Kerr is hooking Zander Fagerson on the far side. And away at the back with the black scrum cap is Melrose's Ali Miller. Used to be at school in Long Nidri away down in the east coast there, and then Preston Lodge and Musselburgh rugby clubs, George Watson's College. So his rugby education has been fostered in lots of different places. There's the pop in. Oh, and a very awkward ricochet, well cleaned up by Miller. Hastings puts boot to ball. Buros covers. It's just going over the try line. That's a 22 dropout. Young Romain Buros, who plays his rugby down at Pau, in his 4th under-20s international tonight.
Better scrum that time from Scotland. A good strike, a good clean strike. Ali Miller just unfortunate, couldn't control at the back of the scrum. They had an interesting play set up, but Hastings put boot to ball, and now the French get to clear from the 22 and hopefully a counter-attack from the Scots.
Here come the Scots. Adam Hastings again, just dummying the pass and then thinking about having a go, but he ran into big Tongi, this big 17-stone lock forward. There goes Fraser at scrum half, along the line for the Scots. They seem just a little bit out of sorts at the moment, Chris. Not quite as rhythmic as they were against England.
If you watch here, you see the French defence. There's no French player off their feet. They're all on their feet. They're all on the defensive line, and that puts huge pressure on the attack.
There's the Scots going in to clean that ball back. Fraser again. Fagerson. Fagerson drives on. This is what Scotland would expect from this laddie who's had international experience against England, of course, in the Six Nations this season at senior level. Hastings with a wee chip over the top. Lovely take there by Dupont, the scrum half. Read that beautifully. Now it's a question of who can get hands on this. It really is bouncing around, very lively. Holding on by France, penalty for Scotland. Opportunity to get 3 points on the board, perhaps.
Yeah, you see Adam Hastings immediately pointing at the sticks. I think that's Andrew Davidson, sorry, helping his team out by helping win the penalty. Here's Zander Fagerson, his first start for the 20s after, as you say, being involved in the national set. He carried really well for Glasgow Warriors last Sunday against Cardiff, and he's carried it on here. Adam Hastings then spies a bit of space in behind, but that's a great cover and catch by Dupont, the scrum half. The space was there when Hastings looked up, but Dupont got over, got his hands on the ball. That was deemed to have held on too long. Scotland getting over the top and winning the penalty with Adam Hastings, his first opportunity from, what was that, 35, 37 metres?
About that, yeah. Here he is. He was playing for Bath last week, but he's been released by Bath Rugby in order to play this international. And there you can see how heavy and steady the rain is here in Cumbernauld this evening. Hastings in to get Scotland's first points on the board, if successful. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So there go 3 points onto the Scottish score. Scotland 3, France 7.
That's a good penalty.
After a kind of shaky start, Chris.
That's a good penalty by Adam Hastings. A long way out in miserable conditions. Well struck. Never in doubt. Always going over. But for the little possession and control Scotland have had, 3 points is a good reward, and it puts France under a little bit of pressure. Well done to Scotland getting back in the game.
Lovely take there by big Andrew Davidson of that French restart kick. Now here's Scotland with this maul, which when we were here 6 weeks ago playing against England, this was a very effective phase of Scotland's play. And look at this, they've moved that 12 metres already. Great team discipline. Advantage being played to Scotland. Here it comes along the line now. Hastings in the inside centre berth, trying to offload, but he can't quite. Back they go for the penalty.
Well, that's an impressive drive, isn't it, from the Scots? They've been so clinical in the drive from the line out, and that there, setting up a drive like that from open play and just pushing the French back. The French can do nothing about this. Once the drive starts, it's very difficult to stop. The skill isn't getting the setup right, getting the ball to the back and keeping your control, because the only thing the French can do is either try to tackle it or come in from the side illegally, and Scotland quite rightly win the penalty.
There's young Hastings in, who's just 19 and has been playing rugby for Bath, and there on the right with the beard is Thomas Lievremont, the manager of this French under-20 side.
And Didier Retier on his right hand side, our left. He's in charge of the development rugby in France, former French prop.
See how difficult it is to grasp this ball tonight. That could have been knocked on by the Scots. Maybe the French got a hand to it. Oh, Robbins waits. Well, that was Darcy Graham actually away in the far side, playing on the right wing with number 11 on his jumper. So knocked on, and it'll be a scrummage. Lots of spectators here tonight, and lots of parents, of course, and school friends and teammates are here to watch this international. The Scots have never beaten French at this level. In fact, last year the French won 47 points to 6, and the best the Scots have ever done was an 8-all draw. So they might want to make a bit of history tonight. They've done it already in beating England for the first time. You see how hard that ball is to catch, fed away there by Currie. Out it goes along to the far side. This is Voisin, the wing forward, big rangy runner. Back in field it comes, that was Rouma, and you just get the feeling that this set of French youngsters, Chris Patterson, want to get ball in hand and run and express themselves.
Yeah, two really good pieces they play there. One by Currie defensively for France, and then this is his fellow flanker, Voisin, opening the legs on the wide outside, trying to free his hands to get the ball back inside to Dupont, but well covered in the end. But they're so dangerous. There's a dangerous back row there in his day for France. Olivier Magne, quite similar actually what we saw there. Voisin, that's how he used to play. Olivier Magne now putting instruction on. A Rolls Royce of a back row player, tough as nails, but he was a good ball carrier.
Here's the line out then, just in front of the main stand. Olivier Magne there with the head, the wee hat and the microphone there, just communicating with other members of his management team. And this is Hugh Fraser. Fraser's rugby at Heriot's popping the ball in, number 9 for Scotland. It's at the feet of Ali Miller. Good drive with the Scots again. Scrummage penalty, and this is an area the Scots will want to sort out after that early defeat in the set scrum where the French won a penalty try.
Yeah, here we go. Flexing a bit of muscle. The French don't like being bullied on the scrum.
Ooh la la.
But here we go. They're still
big guy with a beard on the left is number 5 for the French, Mathieu Tanguy.
But this is much better from Scotland. You see Zander Fagerson low there, Andrew Davidson's back at number 6 low, driving forward, the French stepping round, coming in at the angle. Clement Castet, the captain, penalised for France. Much better from Scotland, a good turnaround in the scrum. It just shows you how difficult it is to get right. You know, we used to see, I suppose in the olden days or the years gone by, you would see one side being dominant throughout the entire game in the scrum. Now it changes from scrum to scrum. If you get technically right, which is difficult to do, you'll dominate that scrum, and as soon as you get it right, it'll be good, but it's so hard to get that right.
I think Fagerson against Castet is vital for the Scots, because Castet is the French captain, and if Zander Fagerson can exert a bit of superiority, there he is, number 3 in the back of the white jersey there. Yes. One Scottish cap. If he can exert superiority over Castet, the captain, in that set scrum, then who knows what might happen to French morale. There might be a few ooh-la-las and zut alors. Anyway, here come the Scots. The pick up and drive by Matt Smith. Ball squirting out of hands, taken on by, that was Darcy Graham there, the young Hawick Wanderers winger, and played a game or two for Hawick. Here go the Scots again. The great hit up by Smith, this young wing forward from the Glasgow Hawks. Hastings looking for runners. Fagerson was there.
Look at the French defence again, Bill. They're all on their feet. They're working so hard in the tackle.
Great pass round the back there to Jake Kerr, but I think the ball might have gone forward.
Yeah, there's another bit of scrapping going on this touchline. Jake Kerr's not happy, but the French are so quickly back to their feet after making the tackle.
Anyway, there we go. Here's the scrummage, and just on the French side of halfway. And this wee flying machine, Antoine Dupont from Castres, same club as Richie Gray plays at. Got the put in, but there's that Scottish scrum working very hard. Almost got the French on retreat there.
Yeah, I think Murray McCallum on the loose head side for Scotland's doing a really good job there. You can see the angles are good. Low, if you watch his feet in a really strong position, the tight head for France, the feet are too far back, he's not got the stability. Murray McCallum drives through. It's a reset scrum, but Scotland can be proud with how they've turned round their scrum woes in the opening 10 minutes to what they're doing now.
This artificial surface here at Broadwood Stadium, of course, is quite wet, because they've had rain right through the previous game here tonight, which was the Women's International, which France won. And there you are, you can just see water lie on the arms of the players as they bind in the scrum, and that scrum absolutely locked solid. Look at the tremendous mechanical positions there for the players. Here comes Lavo in off that right wing, well tackled by the Scots cover. Out it goes along the line. Lovely running by Pinot. Elegant running. Ball squirts away. Cleaned away by the Scots, back it goes. What can they do with this time? There goes Hastings, he wants to run it out, but the French are up to it. And Bello, the standoff, was keeping a beady eye on his opposite number, Adam Hastings there. There he is, young Hastings.
Yeah, I think he knew there was a scrum advantage, certainly. And I like to see that in the players. You know, the fact that they knew the advantage was coming. If you kick that away, if it's a scrum advantage and not a penalty advantage, you quite often lose the opportunity to attack. So it's good to see Adam Hastings having a look at attacking first, and then, because it wasn't successful, we can always come back to another scrum. I think the front five are just recovering from the last one. The ball was at the back of the scrum for a good 8 or 10 seconds, and they were locked out. Full power mode. It takes a bit of recovering from that. They'll not thank, I think, Damien Pinot for spilling the ball in contact and going back into the scrum so soon after the last one.
Tremendous pressure there amongst these guys. The Scots pack is about 12 pounds a man heavier on paper. Well, on the field.
Strong paper, Bill.
Yeah, statistically they are 12 pounds a man heavier, and you would expect that to show in the set scrummaging. You never know how accurate these stats are.
Technique is
very
important, and in a simple way, if you're square, you're stable. So all 3 or 6 front rows, your feet in line, your hips in line, your shoulders in line, you want to be square and stable.
This is where all the practice and all the coaching come into their own.
Ça c'est bien équilibré dans ce secteur du jeu, bien chassé. Graham par Antoine Dupont, le demi de mêlée français qui avait bien lu la sortie de cette balle de la mêlée. Hastings au-dessus.
Une défense française qui fait reculer systématiquement les Écossais qui n'ont pas d'autre choix que de taper dans le ballon.
Romain Buros pour Pilati, voisin.
C'est bien joué, il n'y a pas d'en avant, Fourcade. Allez, il faut essayer d'être patient, de conserver ce ballon.
Et mettre du rythme, comme le disait Olivier Mann il y a quelques minutes à ces hommes. Mais ils sont un petit peu gênés par la défense écossaise qui monte en pointe sur le porteur du ballon et qui récupère ce ballon, récompenser les Écossais sur cette action.
Oui, qui avait pratiqué la défense inversée pour couper les extérieurs, pour obliger les Français à revenir dans le, entre guillemets, dans le trafic où il y a le plus de joueurs.
Avec protocole commotion avec Scott Cummings, le deuxième ligne écossais, qui va se faire soigner, et on vient d'appeler un remplaçant du côté de l'Écosse.
Changement de capitaine du coup aussi.
Ouais, champion de taekwondo est mis KO.
C'est ça.
Arrivé sur le terrain de Stephen Ainsley.
Ceinture noire de taekwondo, le capitaine écossais. KO pour l'instant. On va juste vérifier si effectivement il est KO. Et ça donne une pénalité à suivre.
S'il a la lumière à tous les étages, comme on dit dans le jargon.
S'il appelle Antoine Anthony ou...
Exactement.
Nouveau capitaine pour l'Écosse avec Andrew Davidson qui récupère le brassard fictif, le troisième ligne L de l'Écosse.
Merci Pierre-Étienne. Avec à suivre donc cette pénalité pour Adam Hastings en position raisonnable. Vous va?
Effectivement. Je valide, Hélène.
Un petit peu plus loin que la précédente. Mais lui est habitué à ce terrain de Cumbernauld. Les Écossais jouent ici tout au long de ce tournoi. La concentration du numéro 10 écossais. La belle attitude et ça passe 7-6. Ils sont revenus les Écossais dans cette rencontre. Un petit point les sépare désormais des Français. Autant dire que tout est à refaire. Des Français qui avaient fait une formidable entame de match et qui petit à petit se sont laissés un petit peu embarquer dans le faux rythme écossais.
Oui, tout à fait, faux rythme écossais. Ils sont pas du tout dangereux, mais à chaque fois qu'ils viennent dans notre camp, ils arrivent à récupérer une mêlée, une pénalité. Et avec la précision du pied de Adam Hastings, ils arrivent à revenir petit à petit au score. Il faut être vigilant, être très prudent dans notre camp. Ne plus rééditer ce genre de faute, car le buteur en face est impérial ce soir.
Allez, Pilati, au pire, on va mettre la pression sur les Écossais. Mais Hunter, il était parfait à la réception de ce ballon. Hastings par-dessus. Du côté écossais, on ne s'embarrasse pas du ballon. C'est clair, quand on est dans son camp, on dégage au pied et on trouve même une belle touche dans le camp français.
Ouais, c'est bien lu de la part d'Adam Hastings.
More than that, it was a really good decision. You know, he scanned a great take initially from Ali Miller, and then Adam Hastings knew where the space was, chipped it in behind the fullback Buros, and a good strike, keeping the pressure on after scoring those points, keeping the pressure on France. Well played.
Right, this is going to be Fourcade with the throw. There he is, wee fella with the scrum cap. Oh, knocked on again out the back. Chance here for Matt Smith. This is the area he likes, prowling around near the opposition try line. 3 tries in Scotland's earlier 3 games, and another penalty coming Scotland's way, just half a minute or so after that previous one. Now what do they want to do here?
That's an interesting decision. It looks like they're going to go at the corner they are. The penalty's right underneath the posts, 10-15 metres out, turning down the opportunity to kick at goal. It was Verhaeghe that was penalised for not rolling away quick enough, the big number 4. He makes the tackle, and then he's too long on the wrong side. There he is. You've got to make an effort to get out of there quicker, slowing Scotland's possession down, and a big call to go to the line out.
So an opportunity here for the Scots then to get across the French try line. Let's see what they can do. Still got big targets in there with Hunter Hill and Davidson and Ainsley now. There's a lovely take there by Callum Hunter Hill. The French have gone down now. Can the Scots keep this maul going and control it? It's Matt Smith, I think, at the back with the ball in hand. They're crabbing sideways. Hunter Hill takes it on. Opportunity here for the Scots. Sniffing at the French try line. There it is. Fraser sees it. Hastings on the narrow side. Back in field it goes. Taken there by, I think it was Hutchinson. Fraser again. Great take there by Davidson. You can almost hear the forwards saying, give it to us, give it to the big guys. The French being steamrolled out the road here. Fraser again. Chance here. Very good French defence, I have to say. Their tackles are very secure. Oh, what a score there! That is Ben Robbins in for the try. 11 points to 7, the Scots lead, and that was a beautifully worked try.
Look at the congratulations for Ben Robbins. You said it, Bill. What a wonderfully well worked try. Finished off by Ben Robbins. Just look at this pass back inside from Hugh Fraser, and this came after sustained attack from the forwards, working hard, making yards, and then just as the French think they've got Scotland under control, Hugh Fraser makes a dart down the blind, pops it back inside to Ben Robbins. He hits the ball at pace, and what a score from the Scottish winger.
John Dalziel in the middle there, looking off to the side, and I think he'll be very happy with that Scottish try.
It's a really good decision to kick to the corner, wasn't it? You know, that was it. They could have kicked the penalty at the back to the line out. They executed the line out, and then some wonderful play down the short side freed Ben Robbins for the first try for Scotland.
So, can Adam Hastings add the conversion points? Here he is. Trying to curl it in. Oh, it's just gone on the far side of the post, so he misses out on the conversion points there, but the Scots ahead for the first time in the game, 11 points to 7. That was a great try.
Yeah, that's called, isn't it? Ben Robbins has called that. He's organised that with Hugh Fraser. Hugh Fraser picks and runs laterally, pulling the defence across the field, and then Ben Robbins running into the space where the first French defender had left, hitting the ball at pace. A wonderful score.
Lovely take on this side by Robbins, the try scorer, as young Rouma came up to take it for the French. Fed away there by Voisin. Scots' engagement is always fiery and feisty. I think John Dalziel has drummed that into them, that they've got to be physical in the contact. Here goes Setar. Dupont. That's a nice feed away by Setiano, the tight head prop. In goes Ali Miller again. Miller is always so industrious, Ali Miller. This lad, as I said, was at Long Nidri for his primary education. Come a long way since then. Pick and drive by the French. Ball goes loose.
Sliding tackle there.
Some very hard contact in there.
Yeah, still see the rain falling. Rory Hutchinson almost wiped out in a sliding tackle there by Verkeeg, I think it was. Apologies to those who missed the score. It was Ben Robbins who scored after some really good pressure from Scots. Turned down the opportunity to kick a goal, went to the corner, and from there 2 or 3 pick and goes before a lovely inside ball from Hugh Fraser to Ben Robbins. It was Ben Robbins who got the try to put Scotland ahead, so apologies again for the loss of stream for those who didn't catch that try. But Scotland in a good position now, Bill. Initially 7-0 down, they've got it back to 11-7 and lead the game.
Well, they got a shock in these early minutes, because with 4 minutes on the clock, the French were awarded a penalty try when their scrum was absolutely dominant. But the Scots have fought their way back with 2 penalties by Adam Hastings and that try by Ben Robbins. 11 points to 7. And there are the French supporters in the stand. I saw Napoleon Bonaparte and some of the old invincibles in there as well earlier on in military uniform and thoroughly enjoying themselves. Scrum's gone down. Tom Foley, tonight's referee, wants them to take it again.
Yeah, just didn't get the stability first up. That's it. That's good refereeing, because that's a reset scrum. So often I think the referees feel under pressure to make a decision one way or the other, but that was just a genuine mistake. Nobody deserves to be penalised, or nobody deserves the bonus of winning a penalty when it's a mistake like that. Just reset and go again.
Hunter Hill and Ainsley, the second row for the Scots now. And here is Hugh Fraser with a put in. The strike by Jake Kerr. New scrum half in for the French, and that's Couillou. Here's the Scots trying to open up. Remember, this ball is wet. Kicked downfield by Hutchinson. Has he overdone that one a little bit? Maybe not. Well caught there and dealt with by Lavo into Buros. Oh, and he wants to run. Has he got the pace? No, he's not. Miller's got a hold of him. Now, the French on counter, Chris, as we all know, are very dangerous at any level of rugby.
Yeah, but that was a good kick chase, wasn't it? It was a good move to get Tom Galbraith's left boot on the ball, make a lot of yards, and then wonderfully chased and tackled by Ali Miller.
Below the standoff, hoofs it away down the field. Here's Hastings again. Lovely running infield. Oh, maybe not so good. That's a very good tackle there. And that was on Tom Galbraith. Scots have got numbers out wide. Here goes Robbins again. He's got Howarth, the full-back, beside him. Bit of a take and give by Murray McCallum there without looking. Trusted the man outside him. Hastings, there's the wee chip through looking for support. It came off a French player. Thumping tackle there by Hunter Hill. Look at that, all 6'6" of him. There goes Fourcade. Spilled the ball. Chance again for the counter. Hastings. Not the fastest, but very heady and very clever with the ball. Fraser, a long one. Scots can move it wide. Chance through the middle. That was Galbraith, the wee lad from the Melrose club. Oh, and you see how wet that ball is again. Boys have got to protect it.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the ball. I see Callum Hunter Hill's frustration. There's some really good attack by Scotland, but also that came after really good defence by Scotland. A good kick and then good defence forced France to turn the ball over, and there's the blood replacement swapped over. Again, Dupont coming back on. He's impressed me, the French scrum half, but this is the end of the phase where Tom Galbraith takes on that sliding defence, and that's good play because he looks to get the offload, but under the slippery conditions he doesn't risk it, places the ball back, and unfortunately I think under the force of the tackle Scotland did eventually knock on, and it'll be the French put in. But this game's been played in the right area of the field now. Scotland obviously fell behind to start with. They've gotten themselves ahead through some very good play, and now in the right area of the field as well. When it's wet, when it's miserable, you want it as far away from your own goal line as possible.
And if you've just joined us on the Scottish Rugby TV live stream of the Under-20s International from Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld, you can see the score up at the top left hand of the screen. Scotland leading 11-7. 2 penalties by Adam Hastings, a try by Ben Robbins. All of that after the French had gone ahead through a penalty try and a conversion by Belleau, their standoff. It was 7-0 for the French. The Scots now lead 11-7. Murray McCallum on this side, loose head for the Scots. Matt Smith alongside him. These two guys have both scored 3 tries in this under-20s campaign this year. And that's a better scrum from the French. That'll please them. They went forward on Caste's side, which was Zander Fagerson's side. Yeah, big Murray McCallum is a hard nut, Murray McCallum.
Yeah, he's impressed me. He's in the Edinburgh BT Sport Edinburgh Academy. He's a hard worker, Dunfermline boy, but the penalty's been missed to touch, and an opportunity for Scotland to counter-attack.
Out it comes along the line again. Let's see what the Scots can do this time. Running into a wee bit of trouble there. Galbraith again. Oh, and there's a penalty for non-release. Yeah, holding on. Kind of got himself isolated there.
Yeah, and that man, Vossa on the 6, he's impressed me so far. He's made a lot of good tackles. He's popped back to his feet. He's carried the ball well in open field. As Ben Robbins going on this time. Voisin gets over to the ball, is in a strong position, and he wins his penalty. Matt Smith unable to clear him out over the ball. And that actually came from initially from a French mistake of missing touch, but well chased by the back row.
This young lad, Bello, who's about to take the kick, has kicked 10 conversions and 3 penalties in previous games, and he's added 1 conversion tonight, so he's sitting on 31 points in this Six Nations campaign. But that won't be in his mind at the moment. He will be focusing on getting 2 points for this kick and edging France, 3 points for this kick, and edging France ever closer to the Scots. Here he is then, Anthony Bello from Toulon. Has it got the distance? Yes, it has. Up go the flags. 11-10 now the score.
Just crept over, didn't it? And again, another good example of the goal kicking by the French. Yeah, you weren't far off. There's actually a law trial going on in Australia at the moment that is awarding 2 points for a penalty. But we're in Cumbernauld.
I can hear the whole of Scotland shouting it's 3 points. However, there we go. Back down at the French 22, and Dupont, who's been in the wars a wee bit, kicks high. Well taken on that far side by Darcy Graham. Graham's like a wee congaree there, difficult to get your hands round. Here goes his Fagerson. He's a bit bigger, get a hold of him all right. Fraser out to Hastings, looking for men inside. Scots again, Matt Smith. Hastings thought about putting in the kick and he's got grabbed there by Currie, but well back with the ball. A wee deflection off the French. Trying to run out of defence there was Pilati, burly fella. There goes Bello. Oh, and look at the wee a bit of acceleration and a chance here down that far side. Back into Dupont. Great chance here for Buros, the full-back. Buros, fabulous tackle there by Rory Howarth. But the French in song or on song rather. Long crossfield kick looking for a winger on this side. And I think the try will be given. And Lavaux gets the touchdown. Let's see what the referee says. He's going up to the TMO. He wants a second opinion.
Well, I think he'll find it'll be a try from Lavaux. He's wondering if it's going forward or backwards. This was from a penalty. In fact, a wonderful break by the French on the left-hand side. Voisin, Dupont, all involved. And then playing advantage, that ball has bumped off Lavaux and gone backwards, back toward his own try. He's fallen it. This is going to be a score. It's just an incredible decision by Dupont in the 9 to zip it down low, and they're very fortunate, the French. The space was there. The option wasn't the worst idea in the world. It just wasn't greatly executed, but it looks like they're going to get the score, and it's a good reward for the break down the left-hand side.
I think the decision to kick by the scrum half Dupont was tremendous. I mean, it's a very tight in-goal area here.
And they were playing penalty advantage, and the try has been awarded.
There we go.
So French second try of the evening, this time Martin Lavaux, who scored. But you're right, the decision to kick from Dupont was good. The accuracy and execution wasn't his greatest strike, but he had a big influence in the game so far, Dupont. And Lavaux, well, had fortune that he knocked the ball back towards his own goal line and still had enough time to fall on it and score his try.
And this is the guy who sparked it all off, the young standoff, Bello, with a burst of acceleration away down the far side. But here he is with a conversion. That looks pretty good again. Yeah. So another couple of points for the French, puts them further ahead now at Scotland 11, France 17.
Yeah, the game's ebbing and flowing, isn't it? It's swinging one way, and the next great game to watch in difficult conditions. One or too many handling errors, but we've been treated to well, one penalty try and 2 really good tries, one for either side so far, and the lead changed hands again.
The French have waxed strong at the start of this half and coming towards the end of it, and the Scots seem to have had the better of the middle 20 minutes. And here they are clearing their lines. We've had some good scores tonight. There was Graham catching, then the feed along the line, out it comes. This is Rory Howarth. What can the man from Gala bring to the table, as they say? Howarth trying to get the ball out, but again very strong contesting of the breakdown by the French. Scotland ball.
Yeah, the referee saying Scotland ball. Scotland got the ball to ground. They were moving forward ever so slightly, but under huge pressure at the breakdown for Cad. The French hooker causing a nuisance in there. Matt Smith carrying hard in there, working hard. He's a good number 7. Such a fantastic tournament so far for Scotland. The Glasgow Hawks player, the Glasgow Academy player. He's been scoring tries, he's been carrying balls, he's been tackling everything that moved.
There's the Scots just getting themselves organised.
Scott Cummings back on.
Scott Cummings back on again after his head knock, so they're restored to full strength. And Hugh Fraser played all 3 games in this campaign this year, about to put the ball in.
Well, that was exactly what the debate in the media about Wales and England has been about. France pre-engaging, going early, a free kick against them.
And the Scots want to take the scrum, Chris.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's crucial point in the match as well. If you score just before or just after half-time, really important. And I think for Scotland as well, to try and hit back after conceding that try is really important. Now they're going to opt to do it from the scrummage. Just on halfway, so it means there'll be a lot of space to attack, because the back 3 players, the wings and the fullbacks for France, will have to respect the space in behind them. There's also a blind side for Hugh Fraser to think about, so a lot of good attacking options if the scrum's stable.
Ali Miller at number 8 for the Scots. Alexandre Rouma at number 8 for the French. Scottish scrummage in I was going to say in a bit of trouble, but the French have wheeled it. And a bit of one-upmanship there, I think, with some of the Scots batting Frenchmen on the head and on the back as they ran back, having been penalised. So Adam Hastings, knowing that we're in stoppage time at the end of the first half, is going to try this long penalty kick at goal.
Yeah, well, the French were penalised here for stepping round and pushing on the angle, wheeling the scrum. Yeah, it's usually when it wheels as much as that, there is something sinister going on. So Scotland are the beneficiaries of the penalty. This will be at the end of Adam Hastings' range. 50 metres on the angle, the slight angle. You can see the distance there. That's what faces him. It's a big kick, but as the clock goes into red, there's no other option. And he's kicked his first 2 penalties from distance really well.
He's going to have to hit this absolutely perfectly to get the 3 points. Hastings then, 50 metres or thereabouts. Oh, who's given it some thump? That was like a siege gun. Would you believe it? It's gone right over. What a magnificent way to finish the first 40-minute period here at Broadwood. Adam Hastings with a 50-metre penalty. There's the half-time score up on the top of your screen, and Chris, that was just the perfect way to finish the first half.
Absolutely. Good scrum, good penalty one there, and then what we thought was the end of his range, well, he had another 5 or 6 metres in it. A great strike by Adam Hastings, 50 metres plus. Important to score points just before half-time to bring Scotland back into the game.
So there we are. The French scored 2 tries to Scotland's 1 in that first period, and they lead at the turn by 17 points to 14. And welcome back to Broadwood Stadium here in Cumbernauld. We're just in the middle of the half-time break here. The teams are off the field speaking about what happened in the first 40 minutes and no doubt refreshing themselves for the second. But you've just seen on your screen there some headshots of the Scottish team which will face France at Murrayfield on Sunday. And alongside me, Chris Patterson. And Chris, give me your thoughts on this Scottish team.
Well, I'm impressed with how Scotland have played. It was great to see them getting the victory over in Italy, a very difficult place to go and win. And two changes. Alex Dunbar comes into the midfield for his first game for Scotland for over a year, and he's looked tremendous in his last 2 or 3 outings for Glasgow after having a disrupted 12 months or so with injury. He looks sharp, he looks powerful. He scored a great try against the Dragons for Glasgow 2 weeks ago, and he did well again for the first 40 minutes against Cardiff for the Warriors last Sunday. And he'll bring bulk, he'll bring dynamism. It's a difficult selection dilemma for the coaches in midfield, because Mark Bennett, I think, is a wonderful player. Duncan Taylor's been on form, absolutely on form in the midfield, and obviously Peter Horn's there on the bench. Matt Scott unfortunately got injured, so there's some real great depth there. But Alex Dunbar will bring slightly more bulk, a tremendously powerful player. And the switch will mean that he comes in, Duncan Taylor moves to 13, so I think you'll see them playing almost left and right or inside and outside. I think they'll be, keep the French guessing there. And the other changes in the back row where Josh Strauss comes in for Ryan Wilson. Again, I thought Ryan Wilson was outstanding in Rome. He carried hard, he distributed at the right time, he was involved in I think at least 2 of the tries that Scotland scored, and support play and passing at the right time. But his ankle flared up quite badly after the game in Italy, and I don't think he's had as much time to prepare as Josh Strauss has. What Josh brings is what you see. He's a big, powerful man. You'll need probably that extra bulk against the French, and the 2 players that have come in, it's certainly extra bulk on what was there, but a good depth to the squad, and I'm looking forward to Sunday.
The French have moved Fofana onto the wing from his customary place at centre. And that's going to. They've got lots of great rugby players in that side, but how much do you think will the French rhythm be upset by this sort of new positioning of this lad who's coming back into the French side?
For me, he's one of the world's best centres, and he has been over the last 3 or 4 years. I think he's a fantastic player. He's maturing as a player, but he has a wonderful ability to get his hands on the ball, score tries, beat opponents. I think it's a good thing that he's on the wing and not the centre, because you want him as far away from the ball as possible. He's such a good player. But they do have Gaël Fickou in the centre, who's quite a similar player, the French, and I think the changes they've made make them more attacking. Tron Duke at first receiver at 10, I think, is an improvement on Plisson. Plisson plays terrifically well for Stade Francais, but it doesn't always transfer that form into the national side, whereas Tron Duke's a bit more experienced, a bit more mature. He'll link up, he'll have lots of good options with Fickou with Spedding at full back, with Vakatawa on one wing, Fafana on the other wing. So they're a pretty dangerous outfit, the French. I don't see them playing with much discipline though, and I don't mean that in the old-fashioned sense of giving away penalties or being aggressive or overly aggressive or dirty play. I mean the discipline and the structure that they try to attack with. They look as if they play as individuals, not yet settled into a structured, disciplined attack, but it'll be a challenge whatever France throw at Scotland on Sunday, but I think Scotland can now deal with the physicality of it, and I think they're in a good place after the win in Rome.
Where in this Scottish 15 do you see their strengths? Is it a unit, or is it in a certain way that they play, or is it all through the 15?
Well, I think the scrum has really impressed me and impressed everyone. The scrum has been through the World Cup and through the RBS Six Nations so far has been so impressive, and that allows you to launch on a platform to launch from. It gives you stability, it gives you continuity in the game. Greg Laidlaw's leadership from scrum half has been world class. He really has guided Scotland around. His goal kicking's been great, but in Tommy Seymour you've got someone who scored 7 tries in his 8 games for Scotland. He's 13 tries from 25 caps, so that's a strength. Stuart Hoggs have been playing terrifically well as well. So you've got a bit of everything. You know, the line out will need tweaked here and there, but the set piece scrum and the attacking ability, I think that's why I'm confident of going into the game on Sunday.
Well, as you can see, the French under-20s have come back onto the field. They know that they are leading by 3 points at the turn here at Cumbernauld. Scotland 14, France 17 is the half-time score. I can't say that the rain has gone off. I think there's what we might call a smear. But there we go.
The first half was enjoyable, wasn't it, Bill?
First half was very good. Hard, well-contested game. Couple of tries for the French. The first just after 3.5 minutes when they won a penalty try for a scrummage infringement on the Scottish line by the Scots. They were ahead 7-0 at that point, and then the Scots fought their way back into the middle period of the game with a couple of penalties by Adam Hastings, a brilliant try by Ben Robbins coming in on a wee Hastings inside pass, and then the French struck back. Penalty by Belleau, a try by Lavo, and converted again by the standoff. So they were 17-11 up on the stroke of half time, but Adam Hastings sank that 50-metre penalty, and that was just an amazing kick. Any player of advanced year, more mature years, would have been delighted with that conversion. That penalty.
Under pressure, last kick of the half, 50 plus, probably 51, 52 metres. And it didn't creep over, and it flew over with a little bit to spare as well. So I think both coaches will be happy with certain aspects of the first half. There'll be one or two things obviously they'll want to see their teams improve on in the second half, but a really good 40 minutes ahead of us.
So there we are with the white-shirted Scots to the left of picture there, and the scoreline up on the top left-hand side of your screen. Here we go as Belleau gets this game underway. Watch for a really aggressive opening 15 minutes or so by both sets of forwards as they try to establish a bit of dominance and superiority. Fraser over the top for the Scots. Chased by Graham, beautifully taken there out of the air by Pilati, the winger. Here come the French again. This lad Belleau is a heady, clever player. Has time to see. There's a well-directed kick, taking the Scots away back and pushing France into a very good attacking position, albeit with a Scottish line-out throw. Yeah,
it was from one of the star players of the first half for me, Antoine Dupont, the scrum half. He knew his half-back partner below had taken the ball in. He wasn't available to pass to, and he knew the space was in behind, and a beautiful long kick from the middle of the field, putting pressure back on the Scottish pack.
Verhaag, number 4 for the French, going to do the lifting, but only managed to get it. That was well done, well worked. Through come the Scots. That was big Scott Cummings through there in the line-out. And penalty. It's not to you, mister, it's to the Scots this time.
Yeah, Scotland will be disappointed to lose that line-out. Jake Kerr, you say he's frustrated at himself, but Verhaag got up ahead of his man, won the ball for France, but then it was good reaction by skipper Scott Cummins to get through, make the tackle, then take the space over the top of the ball. There we are. Initially, losing out on the line at ball, but Scott Cummins makes a tackle, then takes the space over the top of the ball, isolating the Frenchman. And the penalty,
the captain it was.
And the penalty against Ruairi for going off his feet.
Here comes the Scottish throw. Up go the jumpers, beautifully taken by Davidson. Along the line, Miller. Miller likes nothing better. That is a wee bit high there. The French might hold him up in one of these choke tackles that they speak about. Down he goes. Let's see what the outcome of this is. Yeah, there you are. You see the French did well there.
Yeah, it was good execution of what's known as a choke tackle. The initial tackle, holding Ali Miller up, and then the two extra assist tacklers from France coming in, understanding that that's what was needed at the moment. Not trying to fight against the player who's holding Ali Miller up, but to add their weight to keep Ali Miller off the ground. The tackle's complete when the ball carrier's knee hits the ground, so all Ali Miller has to do is get a knee to the ground, but the French stopped that. There's been a change for Scotland as well. Rory Howarth, the fullback, has been replaced by number 22 George Taylor. We don't know if that's injury or tactical, but that was made at half time as well, so we saw George Taylor involved in that maul. That's where number 22, he's on for Rory Howarth.
Zander Fagerson on this side of the scrummage. There he is, down on his knees, and the scrum will be reset. Number 3, one Scottish cap, of course, against England at the start of the Six Nations this year, and up against the French captain in direct opposition to Clement Castet, this Frenchman who's a real tough nut. Montpellier he comes from. There he is. There's Fagerson to the left, Castet to the right, Dupont the scrum half with the ball in hand. Look at the pressure on them. Look at the pressure. Well,
I think Zander Fagerson's a little bit hard done by there. I think the penalty going to France, but I thought the loose head Castet's for France just buckled under the pressure coming through from the international tight head.
Here it comes again, Chris.
It'll be in the right hand side. So the left hand side, as you look at it, looks like the French are down first. Look at the pressure, as you say, going through the studs into the artificial turf. Very difficult for the referee to call. You need help from your assistant referees on either side as well. But the long and the short of it is, it's the first penalty opportunity of the second half. And Anthony Bellew, the Toulon fly half, he kicked impeccably well in the first half. Very simple technique, starts very close to the ball, not a lot of run up, not a lot of time for things to go wrong, and just jabs it.
Bellew then to add another 3 points for the French. If he can get it over the crossbar, that looks not bad, but I think it went under. It just went under and no more. He can hardly believe it. It looked a pretty good kick, I have to say. However, the Scots breathe a sigh of relief, and they live to fight another day, as they say.
Yeah, that one just I think fallen short, as you say, and just slightly wide. But from a 22, the French will get another opportunity attack, probably a counter-attack coming.
Yep. Below, and it comes to Ruairi, trying to break the tackle. Well caught there by McCallum. Dupont, Bellew again. Oh, and the charge down. He took a year and a half to get that kick away. Hastings now, he dwelt on it, didn't he? And here come the Scots again. Hastings with a diagonal, looking for Darcy Graham on this side. Oh, and it's an awkward bounce for the French. Maybe not. Here's Dupont, and this boy is greased lightning. He is very fast. Miller waits on the touchline. The covering tackle comes in eventually. It looked like a bad one for the... Oh, and away comes Pilati. Pilati infield it goes. Pinot gets the score. It looked like a Scottish score at one end, and then the French counter-attack. Pinot gets the score. 14 points to 22.
Well, you have to congratulate France there for scoring a fantastic try. A classic French rugby. We so often hear about the qualities of French rugby. There's a proud dad, Alain Pinot, and a black jacket sitting in the stand as his son Damien scored the try. But so often we hear about French flair, and we don't see it at the international, the top level, but we'll certainly see it tonight from this under-20 side. That's the end of the movement, where Pilati got on the outside, fed it back inside to Pinot. It may look as if Ali Miller certainly thinks they've drifted forward. But that was a wonderful attack, started from that man, Dupont, deep in his own half. Carried on from Vasson, who's been impressive.
Score
really
given.
Good score.
And here is Bello, who's been a real mastermind in much of what the French have done and achieved tonight. He likes that one. Look, he turned away as soon as he'd kicked it. He knew it was going over. Another couple of points, so 10 points between the sides now, Chris.
This is a whole try. There's Dupont covering the kick really well, sizing up his options, stepping inside, and then keeping control of the ball. Voisson then picked up. He's been so impressive. Popped it back inside. That was the offload to Pilati, who then surveyed the scene, kept the pace in the ball, got it back inside to Pinot, who finished off a wonderful counter-attack try from the French.
Voisin is number 6 for the French, and he's impressed you tonight, this wing forward, who's come into the French in one of the 7 changes that they made from their last game, which was against Wales, in which they lost.
You might get a game on Sunday if he plays like this.
Now then, the French with a 10-point lead. Scotland 14, France 24. There it is on your screen, top left-hand corner. Well away by Fraser. Here goes Darcy. Graham with that sliding, slithering running of his on this dampish surface here. Davidson, Fraser, better running by the Scots this time and more secure handling. That's better running there by Tom Galbraith. And just as I say that, of course, Hugh Fraser drops it, or it was maybe knocked out of his hands. Let's see what happens here. Here's Rory Howarth. Howarth, not had much to do in this game tonight. Gets the ball back, there it is. And the Scots diving in off their feet, and they are penalised. And away goes this lad Voisin.
Oh yeah, I thought he was away again. Not taking it from the mark. The French were awarded a penalty against Scotland for sailing off. Ben Robbins it was, putting some pace into the ball, trying really hard to counter-attack, but just getting slightly isolated. And that's a fantastic kick, isn't that? Look at that. That's a gain of 50 plus metres, just landing away 5 metres away from the Scottish try. And this is Ben Robbins showing us the pace. He's got a wonderful tackle there by Septar, and then Adam Hastings judged to seal it off. I think he's harshly done by there as well. The reason the penalty is given is because his hands are on the ground. If he's managed to take his hands off the ground, I think he would have held his own body weight, but because his hands are on the turf, it's an easy penalty for the referee to give.
Verhaag with a jump there for the French. Now you can sense just a little bit of urgency in their play now. They seem to feel that they've almost got control of this game with that 10-point lead. And of course, no sooner do I say that than the ball squirts out of their possession.
Keep saying it,
the
ball.
Commentators curse. Yes, I'll keep on saying it. Matt Smith, number 7, wants the ball. Is going to try and tidy it up. It's an area that the French have done well in tonight. They've actually messed up quite a few bits of the Scottish possession. Beautifully caught by Dupont. Here's Buros. Way in the far side. Let's see what can happen here. That's Galbraith. Young lad from the Melrose club again. Fraser with a lob pass. Out it goes to Fagerson. Fagerson trundles on. Brought down by his opposite number and the French captain Castet. Smith takes it up for the Scots. And a penalty again to France.
Yeah, Fourcade that time getting over the top of the ball. Getting his hands in the ball. Stopping Matt Smith able to release the possession. He's penalised for holding on. But the game's opened up even more in the second half. It's a cracking first 40 minutes, but at the start of the second half, 10 minutes in, we've seen counter-attack, we've seen pressure, good attack, good defence. It really is a great, I suppose, advert for how professional and how good a level under 20 rugby is nowadays. I mean, this is top-notch stuff. Played at high tempo, played with a lot of physicality. And you see some of the changes being made. That probably reflects how high a tempo the game's been. The French making a change.
Right, well, we'll find out in a second who the...
Well, it looks like Pinot's coming off. He's slightly... Well, the match announcer announced it as Damien Pilot, the try scorer, going off, but it looks like he's...
Segui is coming on, Romain Segui, who plays his rugby in Perpignan. There's Olivier Magne, who's calling the shots.
Doing his crossword, I think.
Lovely take at the tail of the line out by Voisin. Fagerson's got him. Miller has him, rather. Concourier was pushing folk out the road there, just laying down the law a bit. And the Scots are having quite a hard time now. Look at the French beginning to crank it up and play at a pace, and with a bit of devilment that they haven't shown so far.
Well, that was a fantastic turnover by Matt Smith. He's actually celebrating as he lies down there because he got himself legally on the French side. Hang on, he got smashed back in the clear out from Setiano, the tight head of the tight head prop from France. Managed to not only take that hit but rip the ball free, all in one. A really good piece of play by Matt Smith.
See, they're a big burly scrummage, this French outfit. But as I said earlier, when I was doing the sort of average weight of the packs, the Scots came out at 16 stones 12 and the French at 16 stones 1. And yet the French are obviously technically very sound. They're applying what weight they have, and I think possibly some of their weights have been on the light side.
Well, maybe. I think Scotland have quite a big back row. Andrew Davidson has said usually a second row he carries a lot of weight. He'll be over 100, 105, 110 kilograms probably. Matt Smith's a big lad in number 7 jersey, whereas the French have more, I say taller, a little bit leaner back row. You see a 6 and 8 there, a little bit leaner than the Scots guys. So I think the weight's pretty evenly distributed. But French maybe have most of the weight in the front 5, and Scotland have a more balanced distribution in that weight across the 8.
So you can see Romuald Segui, number 22 for the French there, just in shot, and here's Hugh Fraser with the scrummage in front of him on the Scots 22. Oh, and it's kind of messy again. You see how the French have been so disruptive there. Picked up by Hunter Hill. Look at the French again, pouring through there, and the Scots have got to be much more secure in their handling and their distribution. And they are just loads of Frenchmen standing, just waiting. Oh, and the danger time for the Scots. Look, here it goes again, out it goes. Chance here for Darcy Graham. The wee lad from Hawick being bundled into touch, but at least they've got up to the 22. Taken by Pilati, that's quick thinking. Back it comes again. See, they're up to all the tricks, these fellas, and it makes for entertaining rugby.
Yeah, it does. The French have come out after the half-time break and they've been far more physical in and around the breakdown. Look at, again, as you say, there's 15 blue jerseys in their feet. Adam Hastings know their space out wide. Great courage and desire. Tom Galbraith as well to get the ball to Darcy Graham, who was well covered by Pinot. The Cameron took a hit there. He's fine, he's back up on his feet, he'll be okay. And from there, the quick line out from the French, which was well marshalled and well marked by Scotland. The French are bringing a physical edge to the breakdown. But I've been so impressed by how quickly they've gotten back to their feet in defence.
So loads of replacements coming on now.
That's your scrum weight average changed a wee bit, I think, by the size of these guys coming on.
I think so. So this is Beato Mauvuka from Toulouse, one of the props, and Simutoga from Clermont is the other one.
Big lads, and it's very difficult to come on and slot immediately into a scrum. That's what they're going to have to do. You see Stephen Ainsley
still there on the loose head, Chris.
Yeah, and you see Stephen Ainsley coming on for Scotland as well. In the back row, just saw him there, so he's already been on for a head injury assessment. That's it there he is. 19,
big lad from Currie. And again, the scrum goes down, and this time it's a penalty to the Scots.
Yeah, as I said before, it's so difficult to come off the bench. 10 seconds ago, you're sitting on the bench, you're told you're coming on, and then you have to slot straight into a scrum. Just the timing, the technical ability, the focus, it's very difficult to find that immediately, and Scots capitalised on that, won the penalty, and Adam Hastings cleared the ball to the touchline.
There's referee Tom Foley in the middle there, and Jake Kerr again with the throw on the Scots 10. Long through, well taken there. That was the big lad Andrew Davidson getting clean hands on it. Now the drive by Smith at the back of this Scottish maul. Simu Toga, number 18 for the French, in danger of pulling it down for a while. Smith again. Really hard player, Matt Smith. Fagerson. Now they have to make sure that they get this ball cleared, and that's been part of their problem. There it is this time. Hastings. Oh, and you see how quickly they were up on him, and he got caught in two minds. Well covered by Galbraith.
So much pressure at the breakdown, isn't it, in the contact area by the French.
Over the top from Fraser. Well taken by Buros, the full-back. French players round very quickly. They're going to take it and pick and drive rather than feed it back to their scrum half. Chance here for Robbins. Look, they always look to open it up. And a penalty here, I think. Yes, against Pinot. Charging the man in the air with his feet off the ground.
Yeah, I think it's Robin Ayrn who's came onto the field. Is it Robin Ayrn? Oh, it's Ben Robbins. It's Ben Robbins who's taking the hit. You see the ball, it's a good kick. Yeah, it is Ben Robbins. And before the ball, it's Voisson. He's coming, he's taking the man. His eyes aren't on the ball. Well, they're half on the ball, but I think he knows exactly what he's doing. He's taking the man out unfairly. Ben Robbins knocked out off the ground, knocked off the ball. And a penalty, quite rightly, to Scotland.
So there's the scene here at Broadwood, and there are the Scots just getting a little bit of sustenance and a few words of wisdom, no doubt, from the water carriers and those who come on during the game.
It's not a bad man to learn from, is it, Olivier Mann? You're having a word with Matthew Voisson, the back row, who's been I keep going back, he's been a star for France. He won't be happy with that contribution, giving a penalty away, but well, the French fans who are hearing the numbers in Cumbernauld as well, they're enjoying the scoreline. A 10-point lead for France going into the last quarter of the game.
So still that 10-point gap between the sides. And the Scots have it all to do, and they need a try, and they need it quickly. Miller with a lovely line-out take. But let's see what they can work from this maul. Not all of the French pack are in there. Smith takes it up again. Quicker ball. Fraser. Better ball again for the Scots. That was Cummings, I think, at the foot of that. There's a hand in there somewhere preventing release. Adam Hastings. Tom Galbraith. Now this is one of these situations. Do you take a penalty and get a little bit closer, or do you go for touch as they did before and try to score a try?
Well, I think they're going to go for touch, and I think that's a good idea. I think the line out on the whole has been pretty good. I think the line out drive throughout the tournament has been really impressive, as it was last year in the Six Nations, under 20 Six Nations, and Adam Hastings takes instruction by Scott Cummins to go to the corner. He's not happy with his kick. I see Zander Fagerson in the foreground. He'll be a big part of the drive as Jake Kerr gets ready to throw in.
So the Scots really need a clean take. Oh, and they haven't got it. Fagerson will have to clean that one up. He batters off the opposition. Here comes Dupont, this wee live wire. What a good player he is. Scots battering away, trying to get the French possession slowed up and messed up. Dupont again into touch. Good clearance, good defensive work there by the French team, and Castet just running out of shot. There he is, back in again. The captain will be happy with that.
Yeah, it was kind of tables turned a little bit there. Scotland putting a lot of pressure on the French ball at the breakdown, making it difficult for the French to get the clearance kick away, to get a platform to kick from. It just shows you how fiercely competitive and combative every phase of play is now at elite level of rugby. Scotland clipped the line out to 4-man.
Miller at the front going to lift Cummings, or is it one to the tail? Up they go. That's a long stretch there, beautifully taken. Here goes McCallum. Fraser again, bringing it to Hastings on this side. Chance here. Robbie Nairn has come onto the field as a replacement. Now they move it wide. Up come the French. The Scots have got to outflank them. Robbins on the far side. Slowish ball, you see. The French have got themselves organised, and then the forwards have to hit it up again. Taken up again by, I think is that Davidson or Hunter Hill? Big guys look alike. They're all tall and rangy and sweat-banded. Fraser again. Hastings. Nice footwork by Hutchinson. Poor delivery of the ball. Unless the French... Oh, there's an offside there. Was this Big Tanguy getting his marching orders? Yes, he does.
Matthew Tanguy's been a trip. The referee's indicating a trip. He was certainly hanging around on the wrong side. He made the tackle. He didn't work hard enough to get out there, and he's obviously tried to interfere with the possession of the scrum half with his foot as well. We'll have a look at it now in the replay. There is a bearded number 5, rolls on the wrong side. And we're not going to see what happens. But interestingly, because of the yellow card and because of the success in the previous line, Scotland have opted again to kick to the corner, which really keeps the pressure on the French. It's Matt Smith. He's been so impressive, carrying hard. Tanguy comes in, and we're going to look at his feet here. Does he flick out with his feet? Yeah, he trips Hugh Fraser. He knows exactly what he's doing under the referee's nose. Not such a clever thing. He's going to face 10 minutes in the bin.
So back with the action. And Jake Kerr will have a second shot at the line out. Ali Miller in the background there. Now then, let's see what the Scots can work this time. Up goes Cummings, beautifully taken by the Scottish captain. That's a very tight looking maul. And a player lying on his Ruma lying on the deck there. You thought he was almost a hurdle. Still the Scots take it forward. There's the penalty coming. They're going to get the score if they can keep it going. Can they get it down? They've got the score. Matt Smith, I think, has got the try. It's a try for Scotland. It's 19-24. And that has certainly narrowed the gap.
Yeah, well, it's again a great decision. Great captaincy and leadership by Cummins to opt to go to the corner. The French pack are down a man. The massive Matthew Tanguy is in the sin bin. But listen, this is all about the quality, getting the ball to the back, guarding the ball, driving forward, staying connected, staying bound. Matt Smith with a touchdown. Another try for Matt Smith. He's been so impressive in this championship. There it is, no doubting at all about the grounding. Really good score by Scotland. And again, that driving maul, the set piece, the hard work, giving the benefits.
Hastings. Straight between the sticks. 21-24. The gap narrows to 3 points.
That's an important kick again by Adam Hastings. He's so cool under pressure, isn't he? He knows how important these points are. Strokes them through the middle. It's a 3-point game again. And really important.
Matt Smith has scored a try in each of Scotland's 4 games in this under-20s campaign. He really has been very effective. Olivier Magne there looking just a wee bit concerned. Now he's see what the Scots can produce now. Fine running there. That was Rory Hutchinson. Fraser to Hastings. Belts it away down the field looking for field position, but no knock on from Boroughmuir. French fullback's been as safe as houses. Somebody needs to tackle him. Yeah, get in amongst them. You can hear the people in the crowd egging on the white-shirted Scots. Big carry there. That was Mauvaka. Penalty there. A Scotsman offside, I think, are lying on the ground and playing the ball by hand. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think once the ruck was formed, you can't use your hands in the ruck. Davidson, I think. If we have another look at it, Andrew Davidson. He thought he was in a good body position. He was on his feet, but you can't use your hands in the ruck once there's Pontefract's form. Now this is an interesting decision. This is a long-range kick. Replacement Segai, isn't it? From Perpignan.
This is the wee fella Segui from Perpignan. 20-year-old. Come on as a sort of replacement standoff, come centre.
Yeah, with the,
And,
you know,
fully accomplished. He'll be a very accomplished player if he's reached this level in French under-20s rugby.
yeah, he plays at Perpignan as well. Always provide good players. Obviously, that the French still have a second row in the sin bin, so this eats up the clock for the 10 minutes that he's going to spend in there.
Let's see what happens with this penalty. Oh, it's just shaved the outside of the post. So again, the Scots get off the hook slightly as Segui pulls that one away round the side. 3 points between them. Building up for a very good the last 15 minutes or so. Here we are into the last 15 minutes. Rory Hutchinson with the dropout restart. Kind of topped that one. Ruma plays a bit of football with it. Half the crowd shouts for a forward pass. Beautifully caught by Galbraith in the handoff. Oh, lovely footwork there by Tom Galbraith. Getting away from Lavo, the oncoming winger. Fraser over the top. Back it goes to Buros. He returns the compliment. Here come the Scots again. Hastings. Miller. Being chased hard. Miller likes a bit scamper. Fraser gets there. Here comes Hastings. Smith, the try scorer. He knows what to do. Almost instinctive rugby from Matt Smith. Hastings, bang, down the field. Is it going into touch? Oh, it's very well placed. It's put the fullback in a difficult position there from a very tight angle.
Yeah, we saw a kick in the first half similar to that from Adam Hastings. He knows he's got this innate sense of where the space is. Popping it in behind Buros, whose positioning from fullback has been absolutely exceptional so far this evening. Then tries to banana kick this outside of the right boot. The way he holds the ball, trying to curve the ball to the right hand touchline. It's actually a decent clearance kick from the angle he has. 11, Scotland have thrown it a line out, and it'll be Lewis Anderson's first involvement, replacing Jake Kerr at hooker.
Lewis Anderson on for Jake Kerr as hooker.
Callum Sheldon's on for Zander Fagerson as well, so 2 changes in the front row for Scotland.
Pierre Mignot on for the French, number 23, you saw him as well. Big occasion for all the players here. And Big Tong, oh look at the height that Andrew Davidson got in that line out. Here they go again, using all of his 6'7". Gelange, number 20, was in the side there, but the referees let him go. Scots trying to get the direction. See how hard the French are having to work to stop this. They've got it going again. And again, the blue-shirted Frenchman on the back foot. Matt Smith has it under control. Now he gets downed and the ball has to come back from this. Look how close they are to the French try line with that maul. Fraser. McCallum. The Scots hit up again. They'll want to set that maul up again. Here's Big Davidson and there's the captain, Scott Cummings. Man came in at him like a missile there. Very low and hard. The Scots again in good attacking position. They just need to keep this ball in hand. Fraser. Fagerson helps the drive. Callum Sheldon it was rather. And again the Scots off their feet at the breakdown, Chris.
Yeah, Lewis Anderson carried really hard. The French got over the top of the ball, and the next player in, we'll see who it is in the replay, launched in order to clear the French player. The French player took his hands away, and as a result the Scottish player went off his feet. It'll be interesting to have a look at that in the replay, and the penalty was won by France. It was a bit of kidology really from the French defence, not committing entirely to the, almost like a matador, like not committing entirely to the ruck, forcing the clearing to hit the ground. We'll have a look at it here. This is Lewis Anderson carrying really hard, and then Andrew Davidson comes to clear out, but number 20 Gelange just pulls out at the last minute, meaning that what Andrew Davidson's looking to clear out isn't there. It means he goes off his feet. And France win the penalty.
So we've got the makings of a very good last 12 minutes or thereabouts here, with the Scots edging closer. And that big fellow with the beard there, Mathieu Tanguy, who's been sin-binned, has a couple of minutes still to go, or a minute and a half still to go, of his time in the sin bin. And then he'll be back on. Fit as a fiddle. So a lot of new faces there. Number 18 for the Scots, Callum Sheldon of Leeds University. Number 19, Stephen Ainsley of Currie. He's been on, of course, as a blood replacement. Great line-out work by the French. Very good play there. Well taken by Ben Robbins. It was like Stuart Hogg at his best under the high, or Chris Patterson, what am I saying? It was like Chris Patterson at his best under the high ball.
I'm sure he'll prefer to be Stuart
Ruma picks it up, gets belted back. See the control. Well done there. Mauvaka. Up come the Scots again. There's the wee fella Mignon, the charge down of the left-footed clearance. Got to get the tackle there as the Scots come buzzing in. That could almost be a turnover. It's a great turnover. Here comes Fraser. Out it comes to this side. This is Robbie Nairn on this side, and he's got George Taylor alongside him. Big Murray McCallum takes it on. He lost it. Concario there, number 7. Great tackling by the Scots. French there in numbers, still leading by that vital 3 points. Scots have never beaten the French at under 20s. Mignoni knows exactly what to do. That's a long, long kick away back there. Here comes Tom Galbraith, and Galbraith off the left peg finds touch.
Yeah, eventually a bit of sanity brought by Mignon, the number 23 for France, finding the space in behind the Scottish backfield. There was charge downs, there was knock-ons, there was turnovers, and eventually just a calm head finds the space in behind Robbie Nairn. Tom Galbraith, who's again been outstanding for Scotland tonight, makes a good clearance kick to touch, but this is a charge down. Lewis Anderson putting Mignon under pressure. That was fortunate that it bubbled back to, I think it was Romain Bourros for France. It didn't go to a Scottish hand. Fortunate for the French side. And then Tanguy, well, it's time for him to come out of the sin bin and back to the fray. And this is Rudy Dawson, the scrum half for Scotland, coming on in place of Hugh, Fraser. So most of the bench emptied, I think, Bill.
Yes, is Scott Burnside on? I haven't seen number 20.
Burnside's on for
Burnside
for
on. There go the Lewis Armstrong. And Dawson waits. Wee lad who plays his rugby at Newcastle. Oh gosh, and that's not the best of starts. Difficulty here. Oh, this is going to be a try for Cancourier. An opportunist try there for the big French breakaway. And that may just be the try that seals this game.
Well, there's so much pressure on Rudy Dawson's box kick. We've seen that all night. We've seen charge downs from both sides. And then first to react was that man, Cancourier. There's the pressure on Rudy Dawson's kick. Robin Nairn can't control it, and then Cancourier, well, he has the skill, the agility, the pace, the power to pounce on the loose ball. There's the pressure on the kick, and then watch this, number 7 fighting hard, picks up the loose ball, breaks the tackle, dives over for a crucial score for the French.
It was the captain who made the charge down, Castet, and Cancourier got a kind bounce, but he was there. And the great saying is that you make your own luck.
The back row for France, I know we keep going back to it, but the back row for Scotland has been mightily impressive. I think Ali Miller's played really well. Matt Smith, another outstanding game, but the back row for France as well has been athletic. They've had a big involvement in the game, and well, 2 really good back rows in show so far this evening. Really good to see.
Here then is Bello, who's kicked 9 points tonight, and that's another couple for him. Yeah, that's over, so 10-point margin again, 21-31 the score. Bello takes his tally up to 11.
Still time for Scotland, just under 8 minutes left. It's important that they get something from this kick-off to put the French under pressure.
They need a quick score to get themselves back into this game. Here's Alexandre Rouma. He's not going to give the ball away.
Tackle.
Bodies flying in all over the place, so we bit untidy. Big Murray McCallum gets himself up. Look at this. Beato Mavaka. Then Dupont, this little mastermind of a scrum half who's been pulling the strings and orchestrating everything for the French, and helped by that lad there, Anthony Bello.
Yeah, the break by Mavaka right over the top of the ball. You can see there's no Scottish defender there. He senses his space, he takes it, and it's a big man in full flight, isn't it? Dawson does his best to try and get back, but he's fended. And then Dupont, well, he could have kept the ball in hand, but he knew the space was in behind. From the turnover, the Scottish backs were up, and that kick is just putting pressure back onto Scotland.
There was a bit of the Billy Vunipola about Mavaka as he made the break there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So hard to bring
Carrying
down high
hard.
knees, carrying hard. There's another change for Scotland. George Thornton coming on for Murray McCallum on the loose head side. Huge effort from the 23-man squad, isn't it, to play at this level? Great to see.
4 tries for the French tonight, and you know, you can't argue with that, really. They've played very, very well. That's their 15th in this under-20s competition. Here comes this man Lavo off the right wing. Dupont, he had the chance to kick it, but he decided to put it out to Verhaeg. There's the big second row, popping it into his pal Tanguy. Now they feel they can play a little bit of rugby now, the French, because they've got the 10-point lead. Mavaka, and now they are mauling, and that was Simutoga, the lad from Clermont. Mignoni tries to put a man through the gap. It's absolutely fell there by George Taylor.
Scotland up quickly.
Scotland have got
defence. Scott Burnside with a turnover.
Very quick turnover there.
Use it.
A wee bit slow and a bit sluggish now, as Hastings tries to nudge the Scots down towards the French 22. Rouma's taken a knock. Here's Hastings a second time. What's he going to do this time? Longish kick. Infield. Chased. Some very tired Scots players there now, forcing themselves on. Oh, and he almost got the charge down. This is Rory Dawson. Infield it comes. Oh, a lovely burst of pace here by Howarth. That's Robbins, rather a chance here for Hastings. Puts the ball out to the left. Lavo is there. What a break there by Robbins. Up the narrow side goes Lewis Anderson. Oh, and the Scots knocked on. A little burst out of nowhere.
Yeah, great counter-attack for Ben Robbins, hitting the ball really, really hard at pace. Splitting the line from Tom Galbraith's pass. That's a wonderful angle, hitting the ball flat out. He then gets his hands free, gets the ball away to Adam Hastings. And let's watch this. Dupont, who's been incredible with the ball in hand, he's led his team, is now doing the defence as well. That's a great cover tackle. Enough force to dislodge the ball from Adam Hastings. He doesn't see him coming. What a player, this young scrum half, Antoine Dupont from the Casse Club in France. Thoroughly impressed by him, but a much better attack, good counter attack from Scotland. Ben Robbins hitting the ball hard. And Scotland showing how dangerous it can be.
We pause here while this young Frenchman, I think it's young Alexandre Rouma, who's been right in the thick of it tonight, and obviously in the thick of it in that last encounter. So we hope he's not seriously injured. And Chris, there you are, 10 points between the sides. The Scots pressing.
Yeah.
The performance has been commendable, but they made a lot of handling errors early on, I think, which kind of didn't let them get the rhythm that they wanted.
The weather's not helped as we look again at number 8, Rouma. Just been hit Burnside, going quite hard. It's obviously a head or a neck injury.
Yeah, that's what
the medics were on him really quick. It was from the turnover. Look how quick Scott Burnside was onto the ball and won the turnover. Obviously, we hope Rouma's okay. But yeah, with just over 4 minutes to go, 10-point gaps, it's an uphill battle for Scotland. But they've been impressive again tonight, Scotland, regardless of what the result ends up being, because France have always got a strong side at under 20 level. They're always good at set piece. They've got some huge men. They have a wonderful flair. We've seen that in the tries they've scored, but Scotland are pushed them all the way, and yet could still come out on top. I've been impressed again with Scotland. Some of the guys, Matt Smith, Ali Miller, have been outstanding in the back row. Adam Hastings has an innate sense, as I said earlier, for the game. Tom Galbraith very rarely makes a mistake. Ben Robbins has looked sharp. Rory Hutchinson comfortable in the 13 jersey. So Zander Fagerson had his impact, Murray McCallum. So there's a lot of good performances from Scotland. From the French side, I think we've mentioned the names all night. The 9, Dupont, Voisson at 6. For me, they've led the team.
You can see the doctor and the medics there, Chris, just being very, very careful with anybody who has anything remotely like a neck or a head injury.
Yeah, it's a protocol and the process to go through, for head knocks, for neck injuries. No matter how serious or not serious it may turn out to be, you still follow the same strict protocol to give the player the best opportunity. And the medics were on quickly. I think we saw Ruma, communicating certainly and moving his arms and talking and getting his neck stabilised. So hopefully it's not too bad. And as I say, the medics are on quickly. These players are so well looked after. And you can't take any risks, especially with a head or a neck injury.
So just an opportunity there for players to get their breath back and work out what they're going to do at the next phase of play, which is very close to the French try line. And I suppose in a way it's given the French back, who were on retreat, a bit of an opportunity to get themselves gathered and get composed. There's big Tongi with the beard away to the right of picture, who was in the sin bin for 10 minutes. But meanwhile, as you can see there on the left are the medics and the young lad who's taken a knock. And everybody being very, very careful here, very careful indeed, as they put this stretcher together. There you go. And there's his dad in the stand there, looking just a bit concerned. And Thomas Lievremont, the French manager there in the black coat, who played 35 times for France back in the late over 90s and the early 2000s, 1996 to 2006, his career spanned. And Olivier Magne on the left. I think you described him as a Rolls-Royce back row forward.
He was a fantastic player. Powerful, fast, elusive, hard in the contact. He was one of the kind of back row players who's comfortable in open space. He really was a wonderful, wonderful player who had a decorated career with France, and someone who I was lucky enough to, well, unlucky in some ways, but lucky enough to play against. And he really did kind of transform a bit of back row play. Really, he had a trademark move where he used to score quite often from a back row move, and I think clubs and schools and teams all the world over would call it the Mania move. You're doing something right when there's a move named after you. As sensibly the guys, because it's a break and play, because it's obviously a bit chilly here in Scotland at this time of year, they're getting on the move. They don't want any more injuries. They've got to stay warm, because at the end of this break we'll go straight into a scrum. See Matt Smith in the centre of your screen.
He's had a great Six Nations. I mean, a try in every game, Matt Smith.
And more than that, his defence work, his work at the breakdown, he carries hard. He's a source of a lot of set piece attacks, in the sense that he carries really, really hard. He's been absolutely outstanding, and he works so hard. The Glasgow Hawks Club is a BT Sport Scottish Rugby Academy player here in Glasgow, based at Cumbernauld. This is his home turf. He'll train here most days of the week. Weights, speed, agility, strength, conditioning, rugby skills, all done here.
Yeah.
As you see, Ruma being stretchered off the field.
All of this with 4.5 minutes to go, and you can hear there they are, all the folk in the stand giving warm applause to this youngster who's played a large part in this game tonight, and one of Napoleon's shock troops has lost his hat there, but they'll be there at Murrayfield on Sunday in great numbers, supporting France against Scotland in the RBS Six Nations match, which kicks off at 3 o'clock at BT Murrayfield. Now, time to get proceedings underway, as Alexander Ruma has been taken from the field. We wish him well and hope that he will recover very quickly. Sorry, Tom Foley just checking that everything is as it should be before he gets the game restarted. And the way young Dupont is hanging on to that ball, it looks as though it's going to be a French put into a scrummage.
As I said before, you know, there's time for Scotland here. They have to put a huge amount of pressure on the French scrum. Everyone is a wee bit kind of disrupted after a long injury break. Your mind's elsewhere. You've got to focus really quickly. But an opportunity here for Scotland to really attack this French scrum. And if you can get a quick score, then who knows? Who knows?
Shot. It's Thornton, Anderson and Sheldon is the Scottish front row, and that's Callum Sheldon on this side. He's now up against the French captain Clement Caste, who, in fact, it's another guy. It's Sumutoga. Look at this fella. Look at him break away, and here they go again. The big Concordia who got that last try. Tongi refreshed. In go the French to support the ball carrier. The Scots are having to tackle very hard, and they're doing that. Dupont rather. Here's Bello. Lovely running. Segui. In goes the wee fella Mignot. Here's the diagonal kick that produced a try for them in the first half. This is Mignot. Oh, and it's just escaped him on this side. Pierre Mignot from Grenoble.
Well, that came from the scrum 5 metres away from the own line. Really well executed scrum, and then the decision to free Dupont up the short side, the box kick that they then regarded, that was a sign of a quality piece of attacking play by France.
Now let's see what the Scots can do with this. There's Hunter Hill, he's up against Big Verhaage. Great take in the line out by Scott Burnside. The Scots try to hit up. Some of their bigger men are off the field now, having played their part. Here's Hastings with a wee grubber kick. Hutchinson might get it. Oh, and just beaten to it. Get your hands on it, lads, they say. That was George Taylor rescuing possession for the Scots. Sheldon, number 18, ball in hand. Another good hit up there by Burnside. I always think Scott Burnside's a very good player. This lad who plays his rugby came from North Berwick, Boroughmuir, a medical student.
He's a hard player, a really good player, Scott Burnside. Hard tackler, hard ball carrier. You can as a French defence up to it. But it's really good to see Scotland win that line out. Matt Smith again carrying really hard into the midfield, making yards. And then the awareness of Adam Hastings to put a grubber kick through for George Taylor, almost to pick up. You know, you're 78 minutes into an international and they're still scanning for space. The execution of the skills is pretty good as well. Been treated tonight, Bill. A really good advert for under 20 rugby.
Excellent advert for under 20s rugby. Entertaining game, tremendous skill, mature play by both sides. Gelange takes the ball. Here's Concordia looking for Bellew. Bellew gets absolutely belted down there, but look at this. Here's Mauvaka taking it on. Dupont again. Simotoga tackled by the Scots defence, which has been asked an awful lot of questions now, but they've won a marvellous turnover. Hastings gets it back. Here goes Ainsley. Dawson again. The hit up again by the Scots. Well done there, Callum Hunter Hill. Dawson takes it on, looking for runners. Playing open rugby right to the end. Adam Hastings. Not quite got the flaring speed that he needed to get through the gap there, but there's a turnover by the French. Dupont again. This guy figures in just about every move that the French make. Tongi with a long lead out. Chance here for Buros. Out it comes. This is Mignot. Good tackling on this side. And that was Tom Galbraith got in with a tackle here. They kept the French out. They're very close to the try line. That is the try line. Referee watching to see exactly where the ball is. Now he's gone to the TMO because that looks as though they've got the ball over. It depends on who got the touchdown.
Well, it does look as over the line. I just wonder if Matt Smith has somehow managed to get his hands underneath the ball. The ball's over the line. Courageous defence again from Scotland. Matt Smith, Tom Galbraith, he never misses a tackle, Tom Galbraith, such an impressive defender. We'll have another look at it here. Here's the pick and drive. Matt Smith, number 7, is short of the line there. And Matt Smith, actually, I take it back, he is short of the line. I thought the ball was over the line. The body's over the line, but Matt Smith has managed to push the ball back away from his goal, and you can't tell from that angle. It's just what happens after.
It's very difficult to see that, but he made just its below the standoff.
What an effort by
but a great
Matt
tackle
Smith,
by
isn't
Smith.
it?
Look at Smith,
In the
number
final
7
minute.
there. Has he got the ball? Has he got a hand underneath
it's
it?
short of the line there. Whether the ball touches the paint work,
the whitewash.
the whitewash, I'm just not sure. It's certainly short there, but whether that's after it's been touchline and then driven back. Has it touchline there, and then has Matt Smith driven it back? That's for the TMO to decide.
So we've got no issues with foul play. It was both of them.
Well, who would be a TMO?
Did hit the line.
There's one man waiting for the decision, and that's the referee, Tom Foley. Oh, and he's given the try. He's given the try. Belleau gets the score. So that's 21-36 for France. And I have to say, you know, good counter-attack, but I think that scoreline maybe doesn't do Scotland's effort credit.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you see how hard Belleau had to work to score that try in the final minute, in the final few seconds. It shows you how committed and how brave the Scottish defence has been. But I think France are a quality side. I think Scotland are a good team.
Yeah.
But France, we obviously watched the England game. I've watched quite closely the Scotland versus Wales under-20 game, the game in Italy, and this is the best team I've seen in the under-20 Six Nations. The French have been hugely impressed, and they've had to be good to beat Scotland tonight.
So here is Anthony Belleau with the final kick of the game, and look, it's slewed away to the right-hand side of the post. So no further points for the French, but they don't need them because they've scored 5 tries, Chris, in this game. A penalty try to start off with, then tries by Lavaux, Penaud, Concorrier and Belleau. The Scots crossed the whitewash 2 times by Ben Robbins and by Matt Smith. Final scoreline 21-36, but Chris, good performance by the Scots.
Another good performance by Scotland. You know, they've had a great under-20 Six Nations so far. They'll go on to take on Ireland next weekend. There's some really good individual performances from Scotland. But as I said before, I've been impressed by France. They had to play well. Dupont was outstanding at 9. Their back row had a big influence in the game. But Scotland can be proud of what they've achieved. We hope Alexander Rouma's okay after that nasty-looking injury where he was taken from the field. But Scotland regroup, and they go forward to play Ireland next weekend.
So there we are then, a win for the French. That's they've played 4 and won 3 of their games now. The Scots have played 4 and won 2. And so that's it from Broadwood Stadium here in Cumbernauld. Thank you all very much for joining us.